Hello, TIs. It is, I think it is July 14th. July 14th, 2023, the 14th of July. I know I say that a lot because they changed the date on one of my videos one time. So, my phone's so hacked that they will go in and change the wording on my videos, the spelling. Anytime I type anything, every single thing I type, I have to edit. Every comment, no matter where it's at, I have to edit. Because in case you don't know, I've mentioned this on other videos, that they have a program called the Dumb program. I don't know what the official name is, but it will autocorrect. They have a hack. It's probably some type of code. People code, and that's how computers are made. It's encoding. That they put a code in there that makes everything you type misspelled. And that's what happens with me. I can double check the spelling 3 or 4 times before I send it. I put it on the comment. I put it in the comments. And it won't matter, because when I hit, it will be, or I could put it in and double check it and add it to the comments in the feed, and I could go back the next day and there'll be spelling errors, even there wasn't prior when I submitted it. So it's every single comment. That's impossible mathematically for me to make spelling errors on every single comment. That's mathematically impossible, especially if in the human mind, if you make a mistake, then you're going to, especially if you keep making that same mistake, you're going to be overly hyper about and overly looking to make sure you don't do that mistake again. That's human nature. It is human nature. So this goes against human nature. To every single comment, every single one, there's spelling errors. Every single one. I'm going to start posting them so you guys can see, what I'm talking about. Every single comment I'm editing. And they did that to my work computer too. So to make me, that's what they do to TIs. This is all about hacking and electronics. That's what this program's about. Psychology, hacking, electronics. And you could put that under the do weapons too, because that's electronics. So the whole program is based on electronics and men with money and power. And I believe that this is a rogue. I could be wrong, but I believe now. I know I've said things in the past because, yes, a lot of entities are involved, like churches and, certain churches and corporations. It's a list that goes out to everybody. So it goes out to churches, law enforcement, not just law enforcement. It goes out to churches, law enforcement, corporations when you're on this list. Yes, I believe it could be run. I think it could be run by the GOV, but I think it's a group of subcontractors doing this. I don't know if it's with the okay of the GOV. I mean, they know about it. They have to know about it, so it has to be. Even if it's not, they don't care to do anything about it. But you got to think about these, anybody that worked for the military or anything like that could take any of those weapons and nobody would miss them. Heck, look at the billing issues in the GOV. I mean, they bill $1,000 a toilet seat sometimes, and where does the money go? Nobody knows. You know what I mean? When we all know toilet seats don't cost that much. So, especially anything they're going to issue in a government issued toilet seat. So there you go. I'm not sure, but I do know this. They do know about it. They know about who's doing it, and they know about it. You could 100% know that, because there isn't anything the GOV don't know about, and they know that this is happening. Whether they're doing it or not, they're involved somehow because they know about it. and they're complacent about it. They know that this is happening because too many people are like complaining. And I've heard so many other TIs say, if you're not calling and if you're not sending letters, if you're not doing this and that, I've tried all of that. My email is hacked. I guess you TIs that are saying that aren't hacked like I am to the intensity. Because let me let you know, I'm a whistleblower, so that makes me different than a lot of the other TIs. Yes, you could have gotten in trouble for filing a lawsuit. Yes, you could do whatever, but that makes it more intense for me because every single email, like I've sent emails to people and they've, like other TIs, and they've answered instead of the other TI. They've answered me instead of the other TI. Just like I put something on a website about a game, and then I asked a question about how do you do that with what control. They said, the response was, you use the same button that you do for everything else. That's an inaccurate, that just shows you that they don't know what the hell they're talking about. Like they didn't know anything about the game, they just responded negatively to me, which they use bots to do that too, in case you don't know. Like I hear this one TI all the time talking about, this person said this about me, this person said that about me, they said this negative and that negative. You really have to be careful because a lot of this is coding. It's like bots follow me around to every single comment I make. That's why I get all those negative comments. And that's why all the other TIs get negative comments, because yeah, there could be a person behind it, but I would say 90%, if not 95%, are bots. It's one person with a lot of compute sitting behind that knows how to code. It's called coding. So that, that's what's happening there. And back to me calling, I have tried calling and I have tried sending, and the only way, and somebody said, well, send a certified mail. You don't think I've tried that? They never get it. Other TIs have tried that too. Michael Barden tried that, and somebody signed for him. Somebody set the signature and put the card back in and never sent it. Somebody at the post, the post office people are independently owned, in case you don't know that. Now, a lot of them are independently owned, so think about that. All they have to do, and the signature was just like an M and a line straight across. And that other lady too in New Mexico said the same thing. The same thing happened to her, and they never received it. There's a way around everything. I can't send an email I can't even hardly get an email to a TI, and they're responding to the email. If I send a text, they're responding to it. I mean, it's very few of my texts I tried calling my bank, and I got a perp. It was my phone was rerouted to a perp. My phone's intensely hacked. If I start looking at my phone or do anything, then I start getting random calls. The minute I'm on my phone, I start getting those fake calls from scam calls. The minute I touch my phone starts ringing. So, from my phone's hacked. And I've tried, this is a program that is developed that it don't, like back in the day, they needed you to click on an email and for them to get into your phone, or they needed something. They don't need anything anymore. All they need is your phone number to hack your phone. That's all they need nowadays. And they can get that from any not government, but any doctor you go to, any prescription you pick up, anything like that. Anything that you do, any company, they could get that from there. Anybody you give your phone number to, they got it then. I one time changed my phone number and they got mad at me. So that's how I know. And they didn't get mad at me because I don't get the V2K. So they didn't get mad at me like that. Somebody literally, physically told me. So there you go. I also want to say that I'm following up with the previous video about my health. So I literally have lumps in my arms that hurt like hell, and I just recently have a mammogram, and and I had a mammogram scan, and that came back normal. Even though I have a lump, it came back normal. And also, too, my blood work came back normal, and they refused to give me my blood work. Like, they won't let me see it. You know, I know that it's incorrect because it can't, like I mentioned before, I might not have, like, cancer or anything, but I know I have a lump. And why didn't they say something about that? It's painful. That's how I know. They're not addressing these lumps in my arm or saying anything about it because they did it. And they don't want me, anybody to address them. They're not addressing these painful lumps that are in my arm at all. They're not addressing that. And I'm going to video next time I go to the doctor. I'm going to video everything they say. Just like they bring people in saying, oh, every time I go to the doctor, oh, can this person? It's the same person. It's the same lady. I've seen her before at other doctors. It's the same lady. And the doctor wearing a mask all you could see is her eyes. I wonder if that even was a real doctor or the right doctor. I don't know who the hell I was seeing because I couldn't see her face. I'm not doing that no more either. And I'm going to tell them, I don't want to have anybody in the room anymore. So I'm putting this out there because they do listen to our videos and our phone calls. I'm not having any other extra person in the room because then you're giving your information to that person and you don't really know who it is. You don't really know that it's a training person. How would you really know that? Especially being a TI. How would you really know that that's a nurse in training? Because I've seen this lady before at another doctor's office. And mind you, I filed, this is how I got on this program, is through the medical community. So there you go. And how do I know if I can't see the doctor's face, what doctor it is that I'm seeing? Especially if it's a new doctor like it was for me. If she has her mask on all the way up to her eyeballs. And nobody else has the mask on in the whole place. Nobody's doing the mask thing anymore. I mean, there might be a very few, but nobody really is doing that anymore. So that was more or less just so I couldn't really see who it was. And I don't, and they're not treating these lumps in my arms. They're not even talking about it. I'm telling them about it, and they're not giving me a diagnosis for that. You can literally feel them, and they're not giving me a diagnosis, and they're painful. I have no diagnosis for these lumps. I've been to 2 different doctors, and nobody's acknowledged anything. That's concerning. That's because they did it and they don't want to admit it. They don't want to admit that they did this, and so they're just ignoring it. They've been told to ignore the lumps. I'm going to bring a recorder next time I go to the doctor, and I'm going to tell them I'm going to record everything you say. So, there you go. That's how they treat TIs, you see. I feel like my program's a little more extreme than a lot of people. People are getting, like other TIs are, I haven't met, but I have seen a few other TIs in the same exact program. And yes, TIs do have things stolen and everything, but not at the level I do. Like the minute I leave my house, like for other TIs, they come in every once in a while, every week or something like that. Me, it's every single time I leave my house. Let me show you something here. I'm going to show you something. This was done at night. You see that? Look what they did to my car alarm. They cut it out. Look at the other one. It wasn't like that. No, it was in mint condition until 2 nights ago when I woke up in the morning. Look at the other one. It wasn't like that. They cut it. See, they cut it out. Look at that. They did that. These car alarms are expensive. Really expensive to replace. You see what they did? Look at the other one. They banged it or something. I never did that. Look at this. I don't even think this is my car alarm. Unless they just damaged it. It doesn't look like the same one because I never had, look, they just damaged it. Look at the metal thing, the bar going across with the holes in it. That's what they do to everything. They put holes in everything. That's my thing. All my clothes are holes in them. They're not just stretched out like I've seen other TIs show. I actually have holes in my clothes. Holes and you could get one shirt with the hole. I've showed them on many videos. I still am continuing to have that. You could get one shirt with a hole in it, maybe if you wear it and it's worn out. My shirts aren't worn out and they have holes in them. The seams are picked out of everything. My everything in my house, blankets, you name it, every single thing in my house. And they damaged that at night when I was sleeping, by the way, because I woke up the next morning and it was like that. Yep. So there you go. That's constant for me. Constant. And yeah, if I called like a representative or whatever, my phone call would just be rerouted. It wouldn't go anywhere. Just like a lot of, when I send things to TIs, I get some nasty response because it's coming from the perps. And when I watch TI's videos, all TI's videos, it's a lot of coughing, extreme coughing, about 20 plus commercials in a small amount of time, coughing and repeating the same word, yep, every 2 minutes. It's called coding. You can hack anything that way. Anyway, and especially you got to think about their hands on my phone because they're coming in at night. I mean, I wake up with my undergarments, undone. So you got to think about that. I'm putting that out there too. I have woke up with that. This is a human trafficking ring too, by the way. All right. Peace and love.